In this video, we're going to be installing CyanogenMod 10.1, which is based off of Android 4.2.1 on the ASUS Transformer Prime. You'll see that with stock Android 4.1.1 through ASUS, you get your navigation, back, home, recent apps, and then your thing at the top. And it goes all the way to the top. That's normal for the ASUS, and I don't know if Android 4.2 official from ASUS will be the same layout or if they will update it to look like AOSP Android 4.2.1. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/wwjoshdew, you will not miss it when ASUS officially releases Android 4.2 Jelly Bean on the ASUS Transformer Prime, because I will do a video on it the day it happens. If not the day, very soon after. The only reason I don't do stuff the day it happens, if I can't, is because I have a day job and I only get a couple hours to myself when I get home from work, and then I gotta do it all over again the next day. So yeah, until I no longer have my day job, I can't always be there when stuff happens. Otherwise, this video would have been done a while back when it first came out. But anyways, yeah, we're going to be installing Android 4.2.1, CM 10.1 on the ASUS Transformer Prime. Now, this is an unofficial version, but I want to make this very clear that this video will be the same. Like, I want to make a new video or anything like that when it officially gets released for the Transformer Prime. The CyanogenMod team posted that they are not going to require the JB bootloader until CM 10.1 is official, or like a release client or something. I'll try to find the post they did, but as of right now, you have to have the old ice cream sandwich bootloader in order to run CM 10 on your Transformer Prime. That's why this guy, I'll put his name up on the screen, has made CM 10.1 unofficial that requires a JB bootloader. I have videos on how to do NV Flash, back up your stuff, because with Jelly Bean, you cannot back up your NV Flash. There's not a method as of yet. I will keep you all up to date if there is a method for Jelly Bean, but as of right now, you have to do an ice cream sandwich to back up your NV Flash, which I highly recommend doing it before upgrading to Jelly Bean. Essentially, you have a device that can't be bricked no matter what, and if it does, you can easily restore it. Well, maybe not easily, but you can restore it. Now, thank you to the developer of this ROM. I'll put this little message up on the screen now for those of you that care. Well, I'll put a link to it or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Thank you for the ROM. I'm just going to leave it at that. Here we go. Okay, as you see, I got stuff set up the way I like it. I really like this. I like that everything works. Android 4.1 is not too much different than 4.2. So I'm going to probably restore this. First thing we'll do is open up Titanium Backup, one of my favorite root apps out there. And then, as you see, I have a filter, so not all my apps are going to show up until I go to Backup Restore. Click to Edit Filters, Clear, and then Apply. Now all my apps will show up, and as soon as this is done spinning, I can go here to Menu, or no, they changed it. My bad. This batch icon right here. And then back up all user apps and system data. Click the little checkbox, and then it's going to back up all my apps, and I'm going to be able to put them on a flash drive. I'm going to be able to upload them to box.net, and then I can just restore them with my new ROM, because this may not be recommended or endorsed by the developers, but I run a Prime full wipe zip, which formats everything, including your internal storage. That's why I have a little SD card, micro SD card, hooked up into the side of my Transformer Prime right now, because that's what I'll be installing the ROM from. If you're going to be installing it from your internal memory, you're going to need to use ADB and push the files to your device, or like I'm doing right now, just use an external SD card. Now, we are running the latest version of Twrp. You cannot update your Twrp via Goo Manager, because they don't know whether you're using the ice cream sandwich or the Jelly Bean bootloader. So that's why they disabled it. But it's so easy. I have a video on how to update your Twrp recovery if you're currently rooted. All you gotta do is download the latest one, rename it to twrp.blob, run this command that I always keep in my clipboard via an app called Clipper, and then I just paste it, and it automatically flashes the very latest recovery using Terminal Emulator. And then I just manually power it down, and then I reboot the system, and then next time I reboot to recovery, I'll have it. And when you update your recovery, do not choose reboot to recovery. Don't do it. It's just bad. Trust me. I don't know the consequences, but they specifically state once you apply the recovery using Terminal Emulator, do not immediately reboot into recovery. Let it reboot, because when it reboots, you're going to see the little through a normal reboot, meaning power down, or while you're in there and you still have super user, like the little super user thing, type in reboot if you don't want to power down and then hold the power button and power back up. Just a normal reboot, and then you'll see like a little loading bar kind of thing. I guess that's when it actually officially installs the recovery. I don't know, but yeah, you can update your recovery without using a computer as long as you have root access. All right, so now we're about wrapping up That's an awesome freaking app, Wi-Fi web login. Basically, if you're like at McDonald's or someplace where you have to press accept to actually get online, it'll like, it's kind of like a macro. It records what you do and it just plays that back every time you get in there. Like in the hospital here in Kansas City, they freaking kick you off the Wi-Fi every hour or two and you've got to log back into it. Well, that app detects that you've been logged out and it logs you right back in. So definitely check out Wi-Fi login, and the pro version's only like a little over $1, and it's freaking worth it. Now, since we're going to be doing a Prime full wipe, which wipes the internal, which unfortunately is where your titanium backup stuff is stored, we're going to do something. We're going to go to schedules, and we're going to sync to Dropbox, or actually box.net, since I use my Note 2 for Dropbox. Go to menu, preferences, and then if you don't want to lose all your stuff and you have an external SD card like I do, just go to enable, backup folder location and press detect. And what I would do is I would use like ES File Explorer, and I would move all of your titanium backup folder to your external SD card. And when you do that, it won't detect all your stuff because it'll be checking the internal storage. Anyways, just go to whole device, and then it'll go through all the areas, and you'll see more than one thing here. You'll see your SD card 0, which is currently where all my stuff's backed up, which is the internal storage, which is going to be wiped. And then you'll see a second option, which is like your external SD card. Just choose that one, and then it'll always back up your stuff to your external SD card. Whenever you do that also, you'll just actually press on it and you'll click use current folder, and then when you back out and then you press this little menu button and you choose reload application, all your apps will be there. So it's pretty awesome. And then after you do that, then you'll want to go to backup and, go to the little batch tab, back up your stuff, because it'll actually back it up to your external SD card rather than your internal. Then also you can take your external SD card, put it in your computer, and you can take your Twrp and your titanium backup folder and drag them onto your computer's SSD or hard drive. So I definitely recommend storing stuff on your external storage as far as your Android backups and your titanium backup stuff. That way, for whatever reason, something happens, it's on your external SD card and not your internal. Anyways, so we're going to go over here to, if you're going to sync to Dropbox, box.net, or anything like that, you got to go to preferences, and then there's this little area right here. It says enable box.net, and if you check Google Drive and then you check Dropbox, and then we'll back out, and when we go to the schedules tab, you'll see Dropbox, sync to box, sync to Google Drive. Well, I'm going to sync to Dropbox because that's where all my stuff is. Now it's going to scan our box folder on the cloud, and it's going to go, okay, this is here, this has been updated, this has been changed, we need to delete that, upload this, we need to upload that, delete this. So it's just scanning and doing all this stuff now. Okay, so it's cleaned up the online folder and it's uploading 227 megabytes. Whenever I do a full wipe and then I download everything, it'll be like 3 gigs. I'll put it up on the screen actually now. And I actually use a gigabit Ethernet connection hooked up to my very fast internet thanks to Pluggable's USB Ethernet adapter. And I did a video on this, and I'll link to it in the description. If you're in an area with a very bad Wi-Fi connection, you can use an Ethernet cable. I'll put a link in the description to that video. Also, links to maybe Flash, links to other videos that I think you should see on the Transformer Prime. So now we'll just let it upload all this stuff to box.net. I ordered a dock for my Note 2 so I can put my Note 2 in it, and I can use HDMI out, and it's got 2 USB ports, and I ordered it, and I'll be doing a video on it, and I'm super excited. So I'll be doing screen recordings of that and stuff too. So anyways, right now I'm pointing my camera at my Transformer Prime because I'm fixing to reboot in the recovery. If you wanted to update your Twrp recovery, please make sure you watch the video that I'll link to in the description on how to update manually without having to use the computer. If you want to use a computer, that's fine, but you can update without a computer, but you have to have root access. So what we're going to go ahead and do, since we backed up all our apps and we synced it to the cloud, so when I do my Prime full wipe, since all my apps are on my internal storage, the only reason I haven't changed it where it backs them up to my external SD card instead of my internal storage is because right now I only have a little 8 gig and these Twrp backups take up a lot of space. And so yeah, I back them up on my internal, and then whenever I redo my ROM, I just simply go into Titanium Backup and I log into my Dropbox account or my Box.net account, and it downloads everything that it just uploaded. So a little extra time, no big deal. But so what we're gonna do is we're gonna power this thing down. So all you gotta do is hold the power button, power off, press OK. Sorry about the terrible wavy lines. I really have never quite figured out how to fix that. Oh, my camera's not in the middle of the screen anymore. I had to take it in the living room and now it's not in the middle of the screen. I don't know. Anyways, so with it powered down, you hold the volume down. Sorry, gotta do this with both hands. So we're gonna hold the volume down and the power button and keep holding it until you see like this little thing right here. And then when on RCK, just press volume up. And now we're in Twrp recovery. As of this video today, we are on version 2.4.1.0. So of course, tomorrow they could release 2.5.0 and you'll want to install that instead of this one. So you'll always just want to download the latest one. I'm just notifying you that as of this video, 2.4.1.0 is the very latest one. So what we're going to do is we took that ROM and we put it on the external storage. You can put it on the internal if you want, only if you're not going to do a Prime full wipe. So you'd go to wipe, you'd go to factory reset, and then you would swipe to reset. Well, before we do that, let's go ahead and go to backup and we'll choose system, data, and boot. I'm not choosing recovery simply because if there's an update tomorrow that fixed a huge issue with 2.4.1.0, you're going to keep restoring 2.4.1.0. So I don't recommend backing up your recovery because you could do an Android backup today and not have to go back to it for, 5 months from now for whatever reason to go back to your stock ROM, and you're installing 2.4.1.0 recovery when now we're on like 3.0. And yeah, just don't back up your recovery unless you want to. It's completely up to you. I just don't recommend it. The cache will rebuild itself, and I usually wipe that anyway, so I'm not worried about it. I'm going to enable compression simply because I have a little 8 gig card in there right now, and I don't want my backups being real big. And I don't want to skip the MD5, which basically an MD5 matches up that you're restoring exactly what you backed up. And under backup name, I also recommend choosing something familiar. Like if you don't set it, it's going to automatically put the date in there. Well, 6 months from now, when you're going to restore your Android backup of a certain ROM, you're not going to know which one's which. You're going to have to keep restoring each one until you figure it out. So I'm going to go ahead and label it stock with root and then press enter. And now you'll see it up there. And I'm going to choose external. And see, it's got 6.1 gigs available, and then swipe to back up. And then it's going to sit on the screen for a while, so just be patient. And if your Transformer Prime needs charged, hook it up to a charger. Because it's going to take a little while. Okay, so now it's done. As you can see, the backup took 259 seconds, which isn't that long. And you do the math. 259 divided by 60 equals etc. minutes. Yeah. So now we're going to press the back button. You can use the little thing at the top there if you don't have a dock. And we're going to press back again. And then, you know what? I'm not going to do a full wipe. I don't know. I don't really want to lose everything that's on my SD card. If you're going to do that, all you got to do is go do this. Choose the Prime full wipe zip. Add more zips. Choose the CM10 unofficial, add more zips, and then do the Jelly Bean Google add-ons. And you don't have to do a factory reset if you're choosing a full wipe now or a super wipe. Now I'm going to go ahead and back out, and then I'm going to go to wipe, and I'm going to do a factory reset. And then bam. Now it's going to be doing a factory reset, and we're also going to go here and wipe the system as well. And because a factory reset doesn't do that. And it's not necessary because the ROM will do that. I just like doing it. Anyway, so go to install, do the ROM, and then the Google add-on second, and then swipe to flash. And so now it's going to be flashing the unofficial TF201 zip. Now, please keep in mind, when this becomes official, you'll be able to go to get.cm and look for the TF201, which is the Transformer Prime. And you'll be able to flash the official nightly, and your ROM will also notify you that an update is available. If you go to the menu settings and then you go to about and then you go to CyanogenMod updates, you can choose how often it nags you that there's an update available, and you'll be able to update. If you're on a stable version, then it won't nag you every night. If you're on a nightly version, it will nag you every night. And once this does become official and you can get it on git.sim instead of the XDA forums or thread, you'll get an update pretty much every night, and it'll be nightly at first. And it'll take a little while, and then they'll release a monthly, which when they release the M series, it'll have like M1 at the end of it. Make sure you flash that instead of a nightly, as those are the most stable versions, and you're not going to run into any major show-stopping issues. So I would definitely go with the M series if they have one available. It's going to take a little bit before they do have one. Now it's flashing the Google add-ons, which is required if you want to have the Google Play Store and other essential Google apps. And this doesn't take very long. Now we can choose reboot to system. So we backed up our apps with Titanium, and we can restore them once we go in there and do our stuff. And we can, well, why did it do that? What in the world? So we backed up our apps, we uploaded them to box.net. You can choose, of course, Dropbox, whatever you want. And we also backed up a ROM, and that's on the thing. We did a wipe, factory reset in system, installed the ROM, installed the GApps. Now we're waiting for it to reboot, and hopefully we'll see a little spinning CyanogenMod. Come on. This is the worst part of flashing a ROM, is this anticipation screen. Like, is it working? Is it working? Yes! Yes, 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 yes! CM 10.1, Android 421, on the ASUS Transformer Prime TF201. Ha ha ha, this is awesome. As of right now, it's unofficial, but it shouldn't take too long before CyanogenMod requires you to have the Jelly Bean bootloader, and you can go to git.sim and download it instead of using the forum, which is the unofficial version, which he updates sometimes every couple days, sometimes, the next day, sometimes 4 or 5 days from now. It's a single person, and he's doing it on his free time. When I say single, I mean like one person. As far as I'm aware, he's taking the like TF700 or some other port and he's porting it to this thing. So, yeah. Screen's going dim, so we can tell that it's gonna, it's starting to boot up. The first one does take the longest time, and since I didn't do the full wipe, all my apps will still be on the, internal storage. I usually do oh, look at that. The second battery's showing up on the thing there. Sweet. So he's got that fixed in the letter. I've actually used this in a little while. I've been on the stock ROM. The reason I went stock was because I was having issues where it wasn't recording sound on HDMI out, or it was like really, really laggy and far behind what was actually happening on the screen. So that's why I've been running with stock. And I like that you can use NTFS hard drives on the USB port on the side. And also just little things here and there that are broken. Nothing show-stopping, that's for sure. And I'm not going to sign into my Google account because I use the two-step and I'll have to go on the computer and I'll have to give myself a temporary password to log into my account. And yeah, so just ignore that. And that, and it's ready to use. To get this little thing right here to go away, just press on it and uncheck it and then check it again and then press OK. Another reason I like stock is because I didn't have Wi-Fi on. I had Ethernet on, and when you plug in an Ethernet thing, there's no Ethernet on the stock ROM. You'll see like a little, I'll try to put a screenshot up actually. You'll see a little thing right there. It'll say like, Ethernet connected, and then you turn your Wi-Fi off and you turn the Ethernet on, and then you also check the little box where it's like whenever you close the lid or the screen goes dark, it still keeps using data. So that way you're like, if you're syncing to Dropbox or something, then it's not gonna interrupt that. So I really like having stuff working. Now, one of the very first things you notice is you've got your recent apps, your home, and your back, and you can actually go into settings and customize that. If you want a search button in between the home and the recent apps, you can do that. If you want a search button to the right of the recent apps, you can do that. Whatever you want, you can customize it. You can have 3, 4, 5 things down there if you want to. Now, this is your notifications. Whenever you have one, it'll be up here, and you'll be able to swipe it out of the way, or you'll be able to like expand it and etc. And on this side is where you actually get like your brightness, and you press on it, and then you choose this little slider and you make it brighter or darker. And then you can go here and like you can press on the battery and it'll say like 3 minutes, 26 seconds on battery. And you can also like press on the Wi-Fi and turn it off, or you can long press on it and it takes you to your settings. One really neat thing that I also noticed is when you hold down the power button and you choose reboot, hold down the power button and choose reboot, there's NVIDIA apx, which is like where you hold the volume up and the power button and you go into the NV Flash stuff. So that's pretty cool they included that. I don't know if that's going to be in the official or not, but we'll see. And it's pretty neat that they got the little dual battery thing showing up there. One's bigger than the other, the battery inside the dock, so it's still pretty cool. It's nice to see that working. One of the things is, earlier, the quick settings weren't working, but now check that out. Press settings, take your settings. Press screenshot, it takes a screenshot. Auto brightness, I'm not sure if it's enabling it or not, but lowering the brightness works and raising the brightness works. Sweet. Bluetooth turns the Bluetooth off as you see, and pressing it again will turn it back on. And Wi-Fi does it, and then pressing play should launch your music if you have any on there, and then you've got your volume up and down, and then the lock. Sweet. So that was something that recently, not too long ago, just started to all work. Very nice. Oh, here's your notification, and then you can just clear it. And before we end this video, I'm going to take you to the settings, and we're going to go down here to About, and then we're going to see Android 4.2.1. Boom! Let's take a screenshot of that, and then let's flash it up on this screen about now. Now, when this becomes official under CyanogenMod updates, you'll want to go here to check for updates, and I do twice daily, and I also go down here and I choose new versions, including nightlies. So it'll notify you, you'll drag down, you'll press on it, when it's done downloading, you'll be able to press update and it'll automatically reboot into recovery, apply the update, and reboot right back to system. So once you press update, you can pretty much leave your tablet alone for a little bit. So it's pretty nice. Something else I want to show you is you only have 3 options: date, accessibility, and about tablet. You don't have developer options. So Titanium Backup's going to nag the absolute crap out of you until you enable developer options, which, how are you supposed to do that? It's not there. It's actually pretty easy. Go down here to the build number and keep tapping on it, and it says one more time, and bam, look at that, developer options. And then you can go in here and you can go down to Android debugging, press OK, and bam, now Titanium Backup's not going to nag you. And one more step is to go to security, go to unknown sources, press OK, and also if you go to restore an app, it's going to nag you that, like, it's going to say agree or allow, kind of like super user. Uncheck that. Right here it says verify apps, and it won't nag you anymore. So that's pretty nice. I like that. So now you have developer options, and now Titanium Backup's not going to nag you about unknown sources not being allowed. So yeah, under the system, I'm going to go to the status bar, and I'm going to choose the AM/PM. I'm going to do small. So that works. Sweet. How about the battery circle percentage? Awesome. So the battery inside the tablet's a little like up and down thing, like a straight thing, and then the actual battery inside the tablet is a circle. So that's pretty cool. Show notification count, I check that because if you have an email and you have like 9 of them, there'll be a little icon that says 9 inside the Gmail icon. So it's pretty evident and clear that you have 9 emails instead of just 1. I like that a lot. Press the little settings thing again. You can customize the quick panel right here. Press system again, and then go to the notification drawer, and you can customize the power widget, which that's those little widgets when you go to unlock it, and before you swipe to unlock, it's got the little, like, let's demo. So there's little widgets right here, and then you can just like add one by clicking on it, and you can disable that if you don't like them. Under the power menu, this is pretty cool. This is where you actually hold down the power button and it says take screenshot. And then like profile switcher, I'm the only one using this tablet, so I don't want that. This is a tablet, so I'm not going to have airplane mode. The sound panel, I actually like that, because if I'm not wanting to get nagged, I can just press the vibrate or silent button and it turns all the sounds off and makes it a vibrate only. So I actually like that. Expand desktop, that's actually pretty cool. You hold this down, you press expand desktop, and bam, there's no notification thing, there's no quick draw, there's no thing at the bottom. But when you're using the tablet part of it, you don't really need them. You can just go here, and then you can go down to System. Or no, wait. You can just hold down this again, and you can choose Expand Desktop, and bam, your stuff's showing up. So like if you're trying to take a really cool screenshot, or you need just a little bit more space to see everything that you're trying to take a screenshot of, just press Expand Desktop, hold down the power button, choose Screenshot, or press the little screenshot button on the keyboard if you have the dock, and then you can go down here and you can choose that and make it go back. So it's pretty freaking cool. The clock widget, I'll show you that real quick. You got the weather panel, calendar events, and let you slow that down and see all that. For the navigation bar, let's see what all we have here. Whoa. Oh, this is where you actually like customize, like here it's got the little plus button. You can make that like your search button or whatever you want. It's really weird how it just oriented like that, and it's not fixing itself. There we go. Okay, so that's pretty much the gist of it. I mean, you have Android 4.2, so like swiping up launched Google Now, and I'm not signed into a Google account, so it's not going to be personalized or anything like that. Yeah, it's just going to force close since I'm not signed in. Once I sign in, I can press that, and it'll launch Google Now, and I have plenty of videos on Google Now, so I'm not going to do one here. That about wraps this video up. It was kind of like a first look and how to install in one video. I can do a separate review, but I have a really hard time reviewing ROMs because I don't review a ROM immediately after installing it. I actually play around with the ROM for a week or two. That way I have a good idea how long the battery life. Since I've played with this ROM for a while, I know that HDMI out is kind of crappy as far as like you don't have any, like the sound is way behind the video when you're capturing it, and since it doesn't have like an Ethernet option in there, the USB to Ethernet is kind of pretty bad. Just little things here and there, but nothing really show-stopping. So I recommend trying the ROM out, and yeah, I don't know if I'll post this in the thread after what all he said in his private message, but when this becomes official, yeah, I don't know. If you want to try it out, try it out. If you want to install it, install it. It's up to you. I'm personally going to restore my Android backup of 411 so I can have everything officially working. When this gets released to get.cm, it'll be a lot more stable, and things will be a lot better, and I'll go back to it in a heartbeat. When they release like a monthly series, I'll probably go back to it. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a huge favor and give this video a thumbs up by clicking the like button. It's just a little click, but it goes a long way, trust me. If you're new to my channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I've got many more videos of Transformer Prime. It's tax time. I'm getting my refund next week, and I'm going to be buying a Ford Escape, and I'll be getting the Nexus 7, the Nexus 10. I'm also getting the Transformer book TX300, so definitely will have unboxing videos and review videos of that. Right now I have a job, so I don't have but 2 days a week that I can do this stuff, and on the days that I do work, I don't feel like coming home after a long shift and recording and editing, because usually I spend several hours, like a whole day, thinking about what I'm gonna do a video on, recording, syncing audio, editing, rendering, exporting, uploading. It's a whole day process. So whenever I do YouTube full time and I no longer have a day job, there will be many more videos. As of right now, videos are kind of limited, and I've got to go, okay, this is more important than this. Like, I have my extended battery for the Note 2 right next to me right now. I just haven't done a video on it yet. I also got a 64 gig USB 3.0 flash drive that writes, you can drag a file onto it at 128 megabytes a second. It's insane. I got so many videos I want to do, just not enough freaking time. So that's enough of the ranting. That'll all change. Again, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. This is What Would Josh Do? And please expand the description. And I have links to follow me on Twitter, links to my playlist full of all my other Transformer Prime videos. Just links to everything will be in the description. This is What Would Josh Do? And I'm finally out. See, plug this in, and when you do, it'll pop up and say an Ethernet port is detected. And then when you press on it, see, it's under Bluetooth and above data usage, and you can just turn it on and off. I recommend turning the Wi-Fi off if you have Ethernet on, and then checking this box right here as well. And you'll see here at the bottom, it's got like little things letting you know there's activity going on.